Hello, everyone. This is the most magnificent bird, Buckbeak, speaking to you today. And in today's video, I'm back at it with some more rating with me. And as I'm going to be going through the raid tournament and just rating, I'm just simply going to be talking about maybe some Walking Dead, but I wanted to discuss some things that have happened in the WWE, and then I also wanted to talk about AEW. That's another wrestling company that right now I still prefer over WWE. I know a lot of people aren't gonna agree with that, but and then this is something I wasn't planning on talking about, but I'm gonna go ahead and get to it. We have to talk about Explosion Farewell. We gotta talk about this right here. Why in the hell is Scopely making Tiffany and Zero a requirement to complete this roadmap? Who knows? Who knows why they made that decision, but in case they don't know, or they're ignorant, or they don't care, most people aren't gonna have Gold Mythic Tiffany and Zero. I've already asked my faction if they have her. One person responded no, they don't have her. Which, I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, just think about it. Like, I'm gonna show you guys how many of the wine bottles that you can get for the raid tournament, and I'm still gonna do the raid tournament, but like, I'm gonna have all that wine bottle energy, and I'm not gonna be able to use it. Like, the logic there. Am I right? I mean, come on, Scopely. Stupid ass is what they are. So I figured I would talk about that real quick. That wasn't the plan, but I hope all of you are doing good and staying safe out there. I'm doing alright, and I'm staying safe for the most part. Now look at all that energy. Look at all that energy I'm gonna get, but I'm not gonna be able to use it. Like, come on. I'm still gonna do raids for the Paragon mod, so, and to give you guys content. So yeah, let's not waste any more time. Let's go ahead and get to rating with me, shall we? Now let's talk about, I guess we'll talk about AEW first. That's another wrestling company, like I mentioned. Maybe some of you know that, maybe some of you don't. So, this past Sunday, AEW just had their pay-per-view, AEW Dynasty. And, I mean, I'm not going to talk about every match and every winner, but I have a couple of matches that, you know, obviously, I didn't see the pay-per-view, so, like, I'm going to talk about what I know happened. So, first off, I guess we'll start off with the TBS Championship match, and that championship match was between Julia Hart and Willow Nightingale, and Julia Hart is a part of the faction called the House of Black, let me see, I'm trying to think of all the members: Brody King, Buddy Matthews, and Malachi Black. And anyway, okay, so Julia Hart, she was the TBS champion going into this match, but Willow Nightingale, she ended up beating Julia Hart to become the new TBS champion, and congratulations to her. But here's a downside to the new champion. at their next pay-per-view, Double or Nothing, Mercedes Moné, for those that don't know who that is, she was formerly known as Sasha Banks in WWE. But anyway, okay, why I bring up Mercedes Moné is because Mercedes is getting the first title shot for the TBS Championship against Willow Nightingale. So, again, I'm just going to say it now. Congratulations to you, Willow Nightingale, for winning a championship in AEW, but your title run is going to be pretty short. Because, like, there's no way they're not putting the title on Mercedes Moné. So, could it be a really good match between those two? It should be, because both of them have history against each other in another wrestling company about more than a year ago. So, it should be a pretty decent match, you would think. But, yeah, Mercedes Moné, I see her being the new TBS champion come May, whenever that pay-per-view is. But, yeah. Again, congratulations to Willow, but it sucks that you're going to be a transitional champion to Mercedes. Like, it's bad timing on Willow winning the title, which is unfortunate. Now, the next match I want to talk about, there was a tag team ladder match between the Young Bucks and FTR, and the tag team ladder match was for the vacant AEW World Tag Team titles, because previously Sting from WCW, that Sting, and Darby Allin, they were the AEW World Tag Team Champions, but Sting decided to retire, thus they vacated the tag team titles. So, all I know is toward the very end of the match, Jack Perry, aka Jungle Boy, but like he's over that Jungle Boy gimmick when he was teaming with Luchasaurus. But anyway, Jack Perry comes out there toward the end of the match and costs FTR their chance to try to win the tag team titles for the third time. So, your winners and new AEW World Tag Team Champions are the Young Bucks, and this time around they are the EVPs. That means they're like pretty much executive vice presidents of the company, and they're using their power. I don't know why it's so slow tonight, but they're using their power to get ahead, right, as EVPs. I think they've always been EVPs, but they haven't been heelish like they are now. They got these suits on, and they're just total assholes. So who knows how long they're going to hold on to those tag team championships. Again, I don't know why it's so... Okay, so I'm making sure I still have internet. Yeah, I don't know, it's being so slow tonight. But, again, I'm not surprised that the Young Bucks won the newly vacated... Well, they were vacated, but I'm not surprised that the Young Bucks won the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Not surprising, but I guess we'll see how long they hold them for. In fact, I think they've won those tag team titles for the third time in company history. Now, the next match I want to talk about is Bryan Danielson. For those that don't know, that was Daniel Bryan in WWE, but Bryan Danielson is his real name. and he was going up against Will Ospreay. And why those two had a match, I'm not really sure, but from what I seen, I didn't see much of the match. I just saw clips of it on, I guess, Facebook, I think it was, or somewhere, but, from what I saw, they actually had a really good match, maybe match of the night, and, Will Ospreay, Will Ospreay ended up beating Bryan Danielson. I mean, honestly, either man could have won that match, and some people were quoting it's the greatest wrestling match of the last 10 years. I mean, I don't know if I would go that far, but you know, it was from people's reactions. It was a pretty damn good match, honestly, and I'm not surprised because I mean both men they can go in the ring. Oh man, this might be a bit of a hot take, and I don't care. Will Ospreay is a much better wrestler than Logan Paul. Logan Paul, God. I'm not even gonna get into him, but oh man. But anyway, I don't know what's next for Will Ospreay, but ever since I think last year he went away, or did he get injured? No, I think he had a match with somebody last year, and then he went away for a little bit, and then he came back. And even though Will Ospreay is a part of the Don Callis family, which is a heel faction, it's weird. Will Ospreay is face. Like, I feel like the Don Callis family is eventually going to turn on Will Ospreay to really make him more of a baby face than he already is. Even though he's a part of a heel faction, Will Ospreay is a face, which is, that's kind of interesting, but I could eventually see, the Don Callis family end up turning on Will to cement him as more of a baby face than he already is. So it'll be interesting to see where his momentum carries him next. Now, the next match I want to talk about is for the AEW Women's World Championship, and the AEW Women's World Champion is Timeless Toni Storm, and she was defending against Thunder Rosa, and all I know about it is Timeless Toni Storm ended up beating Thunder Rosa, and she ended up retaining. Now, I have no idea who they're planning on having beat Toni Storm for that women's championship. I thought maybe it might be Thunder Rosa, but no, that wasn't the case. So, I do keep up with AEW Dynamite. That's like one of their weekly shows. I have no idea who's beating Toni Storm right now. I just don't see anyone on that roster as of right now beating her. And her gimmick of being a 40s/50s type of movie star, I mean, oh man, that gimmick is that gimmick is fantastic. It is really great. And even though she's technically supposed to be a heel, people are cheering for her, so like, maybe not many, but there are Toni Storm fans, and I have to say, I have to applaud AEW for doing this. They have certainly made Toni Storm look a hell of a lot better than WWE ever did. The last memory that I had of Toni Storm in WWE is a certain somebody throwing pies in her face. Somebody politicking her way to make Toni Storm look bad, thus forcing Toni Storm out of WWE entirely because of that segment. Charlotte Flair. That's who done that. But, yeah, congratulations to Toni Storm for retaining, and I'm not sure who's going to beat her for that championship. I can't think of anybody right now. And I just gotta say, Mariah May, she's out there helping Toni Storm, and I just gotta say, Mariah May, she looks absolutely fine. Woohoo! She looks fine. Toni Storm does too. Don't get me wrong, but especially Mariah May. But okay. Is there another match I want to talk about? Yes, there is one more thing I want to talk about with AEW. And the main event was for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship between Samoa Joe defending against Swerve Strickland. Now, I do know that when Swerve Strickland came out, during his entrance, he came out dressed up as Killmonger from Black Panther, which was, I thought that was interesting. That was pretty cool. I did see that, and then I do know that Swerve Strickland, he ended up beating Samoa Joe for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. So, yeah, Swerve Strickland is your new AEW World Champion. And, man, congratulations to him. And apparently Swerve Strickland was in WWE, but I don't remember that, to be honest. And if he was, I sure as heck don't remember it. Like, I don't know. But apparently he was, and again, AEW, they've done Swerve Strickland better than WWE ever did. I mean, I don't even know what they did with Swerve Strickland in WWE, but he goes to AEW, boom, he's world champion. It takes him a little bit, but we'll see how long Swerve Strickland is the world champion over there. And Prince Nana, he has really, like, him and his little dance when Swerve Strickland comes out there, he has really made Swerve Strickland, he has helped him become a face, because less than a year ago, Swerve Strickland was a heel. He was a heel for pretty much ever since he got there, pretty much all of last year. Slowly into 2024, he became a face slowly but surely, and now he's the AEW World Champion. We'll see how long he's the World Champion and what plans they have in store for Swerve Strickland as the World Champion, because before then, Samoa Joe was the World Champion, and he won the World title from MJF back in December, I think it was. And at the time, I didn't think MJF was going to lose to Samoa Joe, but he was really banged up and is still banged up at this time with, like, just a bunch of minor injuries. And they did that whole devil reveal with Adam Cole at the pay-per-view, which I don't know what they're doing with that group with the Undisputed Kingdom. I mean, I don't know. Apparently Adam Cole is still hurt, from what I know. I don't know. Who knows what they're going to do with that reveal? I have no idea. But again, congratulations to Swerve Strickland for winning the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. And hopefully he has a good title reign. Now, I think that's all the AEW I wanted to discuss for the moment. Now, I'll talk about WWE. Where do I start with WWE? Let's go to WrestleMania 40, okay? So, WrestleMania 40, I know it's already happened. So, Seth Rollins, he was the World Heavyweight Champion, and he defended the world title against Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre beat Seth Rollins, and he finally got his WrestleMania moment in front of a live crowd. Despite being a heel, he still got that moment. And then, well, this is where Drew McIntyre screwed up as he's celebrating. He's gloating too much. And before WrestleMania, he was trash talking CM Punk left and right, up and down. And that's where the mistake comes in, because CM Punk was at commentary during that match. So when Drew McIntyre wasn't paying attention, CM Punk decided to trip up Drew McIntyre and just beat the hell out of him. And after he gets done laying the smackdown on Drew McIntyre, we have Mr. Money in the Bank, Damian Priest. He comes out there and he cashes in his Money in the Bank contract on Drew McIntyre to become the new World Heavyweight Championship. And I gotta say, congratulations to Damian Priest for not being dumb and being smart in the situation. Hey, there was a situation, the champion's down. He took advantage, and he's the new World Heavyweight Champion. And for how long? Who knows? I don't think it's going to be super long, honestly. I could see him hold it about 2-3 months at the most before they decide a new world champion. Although I could be wrong. I don't know. There's already teases of the Judgment Day breaking up, potentially. So, I don't, And then, talking about the Judgment Day, I just gotta say, congratulations to Drew McIntyre for winning the World Championship. And then, after that, he gets screwed out of the World title for being stupid by taunting too much. So... But you kind of can't blame CM Punk, though, because, he was trash-talking him for pretty much 2 months, because he ended up tearing something in his arm. I can't remember. It might have been his arm or elbow, and I would imagine if CM Punk hadn't got injured, CM Punk would have been at WrestleMania competing in a match, but ultimately that didn't happen. But yeah, congratulations to Drew McIntyre, and then congratulations to Damian Priest for not wasting his opportunity and successfully cashing in. Now let's talk about Rhea Ripley. Ooh, this is a rough one, right? Rhea Ripley was the WWE Women's World Champion, I believe is what they... anyway, she was the Women's Champion on Raw, and she had held the title for over a year, and then, 2 weeks ago, she legit gets injured, and she has to vacate the Women's Championship because she legit got injured during a segment between her and Liv Morgan, which obviously in real life, I'm sure Liv Morgan didn't actually mean to injure Rhea Ripley, but here's the thing about that: since that happened, they can work that into the story. And Liv Morgan, she said one time that, I'm gonna take everything away from you, Rhea Ripley, and then, she actually did. That wasn't meant to happen, but I can see that being a story in WWE that they're going to tell going forward, probably during the summer months. So Rhea Ripley had to vacate the championship, and who knows how long she's going to be out for. So they had a battle royal to crown a new women's champion, and I'll be honest, I thought Liv Morgan was probably going to win the title. But no, they gave it to Becky Lynch, and I was kind of surprised about that because, like, Nia Jax beat the hell out of her during the match and slammed her on the announce table like 3 or 4 different times, and then on like the 5th slam, the announce table finally broke. And then as we got toward the end of the match, it was down between Liv Morgan and Nia Jax, but here comes Becky Lynch. She just so happens to be fine to be a part of the final 3, and she ends up throwing out Liv Morgan, eliminating her in the Battle Royal to win the world champion, the women's championship, I should say. And I guess we'll see how long Becky Lynch actually holds the title for. I see Liv Morgan eventually taking the title off of her. I think Liv Morgan is going to become a heel to do so. She's going to use cheating tactics to end up winning the title from Becky Lynch. They probably will do that, I would imagine, sometime this summer. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. Now, let's see. What else do I want to talk about? WWE. I'm not going to talk much about WWE because I keep up more with AEW. Or I should say I watch more AEW than I do WWE. So let's talk about that main event night 2, right? At WrestleMania 40. You have Roman Reigns defending the WWE Universal Championship against Cody Rhodes, and it's Bloodline rules. So that essentially means it was just like a no disqualification match. Like, why couldn't you have just like called it a no disqualification match? I mean, I did see clips of that match, the Bloodline rules match, and there was nothing special to make it stand out from a regular no disqualification match and a special stipulation. So, but anyway, that means people can interfere, and it's going to be a whole mess of people interfering, and that's exactly what happens. So we get to one point in the match where Jimmy Uso, he comes out there and interferes to try to help Roman, to try to help him win the match and retain the title. And then that's when we get Jey Uso come out there. He takes care of Jimmy Uso. Jimmy Uso's running toward Jey Uso at the ramp, and they're fighting. And Jey Uso takes care of Jimmy Uso he pretty much spears Jimmy Uso off the stage onto these tables that were conveniently placed there. So that takes care of Jimmy Uso. Now the match continues, and then Solo Sikoa comes out there. He interferes. He tries to help out Roman, and then what do you know? John Cena, of all people, John Cena comes out there. He runs down the ramp. He takes care of Solo Sikoa by doing the AA or the FU through the announce table, and that takes care of Solo Sikoa. And then next thing you know, The Rock comes out there. He's out there, he's walking down the ramp, you can see him, he's pissed off, he's cussing, he's mad that John Cena, of all people, is coming out there, interfering in Bloodline business. And then The Rock delivers the rock bottom to John Cena, and that takes care of John Cena. And then Seth Rollins, he comes out there and tries to interfere and try to help out, and he comes out there in the Shield gear, but Roman Reigns takes care of him immediately with a Superman punch. And then it looks like it's going to be Roman and Rock, they're tag teaming to try to, to beat up Cody Rhodes, and it looks like they're going to finish him off for sure. And The Rock's got this belt, and he's like telling Cody Rhodes, "Get up, boy." And he's going to whip him with it, and then all of a sudden, you hear The Undertaker's music, and then the lights go out. Then the lights come back on. What do you know? It's The Undertaker, Mark Calloway, of all people, standing standing behind The Rock. Rock turns around. The Undertaker choke slams The Rock. The lights go out. They come back on. Both The Undertaker and The Rock have disappeared. And we're getting to the end of the match. Both Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins is getting up. One's on one side, the other's on the other side. And Roman Reigns has got a chair, and all he has to do is strike Cody Rhodes with the chair and retain the championship. But Roman Reigns, he can't let go of the past of what Seth Rollins did to him when Seth Rollins turned on the Shield nearly 10 years ago. So he decides to strike Seth Rollins with the chair instead of Cody Rhodes, and that's where Roman Reigns screws up. And Cody Rhodes takes advantage and hits Roman Reigns with 3 crossroads. I believe it was 3. And he pins Roman Reigns for the 1, 2, 3. And Cody Rhodes is your new WWE Universal Champion. And so glad Roman Reigns finally lost. I mean, that man... I'm not talking about the character. I'm talking about the guy, the actual person behind the character. He needs a break. Like, he needed a break from, defending that title. And who knows when he'll come back. I would imagine it's probably going to be maybe SummerSlam, possibly Money in the Bank. Who knows? He'll come back in time for the summer. And when he does, I could see him finally being pushed as a proper baby face without it being forced like it was many years ago, right? I can say this for certain, he'll be a badass baby face without being forced this time around, because Solo Sikoa has decided to take over, and he's pretty much essentially created his own bloodline. Because Solo Sikoa, he beat the hell out of Jimmy Uso and kicked him out of the bloodline. And he introduced a new member, which I don't know I don't know his name, but he's got to be a member of that particular family, right? Again, I don't keep up. I don't watch WWE like that, but I do keep up with it. And I know that people were already bitching and complaining, "Oh, Cody Rhodes, he's boring, he hasn't done anything, blah, blah, blah." Like, yeah, of course he hasn't defended the championship yet. But unlike Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes is actually going to be there pretty regularly to defend the World Championship. And so glad to see that we actually have a world champion that's actually going to be there on a pretty consistent basis instead of being there sometimes every couple of months, right? So congratulations, yes, congratulations to Cody Rhodes. But I'll be honest, I'm always going to be a believer of this. Cody Rhodes should have beaten Roman Reigns, not this year. He should have beaten him last year for the title. I'm always going to be a believer on that. He should have. And they should have potentially made Roman Reigns versus The Rock for this year's WrestleMania. I mean, let's be honest. The Roman Reigns Rock feud is potentially, not potentially, that feud is going to be bigger than any championship. It will actually make the match, the anticipation of the match, more worth it, because you're not going to have two part-timers fighting for a championship. You know what I mean? So, although I don't think Solo Sikoa was acting alone when he decided to kick out Jimmy Uso and beat the heck out of him, I think he was probably under orders of The Rock. So, there you go. That's potentially that little thing that happened between Solo Sikoa and Jimmy Uso and the newest member of seemingly the new bloodline. That's potentially going to set up Roman Reigns versus The Rock for WrestleMania 41. So there you go. The Rock is obviously going to be the heel, and I truly do believe Roman Reigns is going to be the face in this situation. So, yeah, and talking about Cody Rhodes, he's going to be defending his newly won world title against AJ Styles at Backlash. I don't see Cody Rhodes losing. He just won the title. Plus, potentially, they are maybe going to have a Cody Rhodes versus Rock title match, possibly at SummerSlam. So, that kind of ruins the fact that, yeah, AJ Styles is not winning. They just wanted to give somebody to feed to Cody Rhodes, essentially. Although, it was probably better than having LA Knight win that number one contenders match, because if they would have done that, LA Knight would have been the clear babyface that people would have wanted to actually see win. I don't know, me personally, I like Cody Rhodes more than LA Knight. I mean, LA Knight, there's nothing wrong with him, but him just saying yeah all the time, I don't know, it doesn't stick with me personally. But it's probably better that they gave AJ Styles this match, because nobody actually believes that AJ Styles is going to beat Cody Rhodes at Backlash. And then congratulations to Bayley. Bayley, she ended up winning the WWE Women's World Championship, or whatever the hell the name of it is now. But anyway, Bayley won the WWE Women's Championship on SmackDown from Io Sky. And I just gotta say, I saw Bayley's entrance, and she came out to this Egyptian theme, which I thought was pretty cool. She had those strong men carrying her out. They all had Egyptian theme. It was pretty good. I liked the entrance. And is there anything else I want to talk about WWE? I'm not talking about Logan Paul. I'm not talking about that sack of crap. I just don't see why people like Logan Paul. I don't know. What's he known for? Prime? I don't know, but I think I'm done talking about WWE. I can't think of anything else that I would want to talk about with WWE right now. Now, I know coming up in the summer months, The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Season 2 is going to be coming out. And yes, I will be watching that. And yes, I will be doing spoiler reviews of that whenever it comes out. Hopefully I won't be so late on Daryl Dixon. And I don't know, I guess we'll have to see. Are we going to get a Daryl and Rick reunion? I hope so. I hope we do. Hopefully they plan on doing it. I'm sure they are planning on doing it, but as to when it's going to happen, it's hard to say. Oh man, I'm so screwed. And if you haven't noticed, I haven't talked about it. I ended up getting my Morgan Unhinged to Tier 3, or to Limit Break 3, I should say. And yeah, the whole event going on right now, the Saviors from Hell event, I ended up doing some pulls on the Connor wheel, and I paid $15 in order to get one copy of Morgan Unhinged. I hated doing that as well, but like, it was driving me nuts not having that last copy of Morgan. I felt I had to do it. And now that I got him, I'm glad to actually have him all the way at LB3. It drove me nuts. And I don't like usually spending money on this game. I haven't in quite some time. But like, if I didn't do that, I would have never gotten the last copy of Morgan, because it sure doesn't seem like they're going to bring him back on the advanced wheel whatsoever. So I had to do what I had to do. I didn't like doing it, but I'm glad to have him, because look, at LB3, if you do the signature move, he's going to get full AP next turn. There you go. And that will definitely come in handy. Maybe not right now, but it'll help. It will definitely help. It will definitely help out. And I eventually want to level up Lily Call. There I go, calling her a cow. But no, I eventually want to level up Lily Call. That way I can potentially use her on a Philip Blake team and see how she's going to do. Every turn, he's going to get full AP, which is... that is so nice. I guess we'll do one more. We'll do another 6, and then I'll go ahead and end it after that, because we've been raiding a little while. I know this is going to be an extended video, but I just wanted to give you guys some content. And plus, since I'm not doing spoiler reviews anytime soon, it just gave me a chance to talk about other things instead of Walking Dead only. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it. It sucks. I'm gonna keep hoping that people in my faction have Tiffany and Zero, but I'm not gonna count on it. Gonna have all this energy from the wine bottles and not gonna be able to use it. Like, that still baffles me. I mean, that don't... For real, anybody that is watching and you haven't played this game before and you're maybe thinking about playing it yourself, I'm going to give you some, I'm going to give you some advice. Don't. If you want to watch, okay, you can definitely watch. There's no harm in watching somebody's RTS content, but actually playing it yourself, if you've never played this game before, I recommend you don't do it. I wouldn't. Not right now. I would not. If you would have asked me 4 or 5 years ago, I would have said, yeah, I would think about it for sure. I probably would, but right now, if you're new, or if you're somebody that has been retired and you haven't played for 3-4 years, I wouldn't. Like I said, if you're new and you haven't played this game before, or if you're somebody that's been retired for 3, 4, 5 years or longer and you're thinking about coming back into it, I wouldn't bother. I really wouldn't. But if you want to, that's your choice, but I'm just trying to give you some friendly advice, and I wouldn't. Just let the game die off if it's going to. Because I got other stuff I can do. But, I mean, it ain't, I'm not solely reliant on RTS anymore. Hell, I've done Dying Light 2. I've done Batman Arkham Asylum, Arkham City. I'm currently doing the Harley Quinn Revenge DLC. I'm planning on doing Batman Arkham Knight after that. And then after Arkham Knight, I'm going to make a poll and I'm going to ask you guys what you want to see. I'm going to have 4 or 5 different options that, I'm going to take a break. Once I officially get done with Batman Arkham Knight, I'm going to step away from the superhero genre for a little bit, because I got other genres I can get to that aren't superheroes. You know what I mean? Although, I would like to maybe do Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. That is an underrated game that nobody talks about. It's really good, and it sucks that it failed. Just because I think it failed because of the reputation of the Avengers game. I believe that's the sole reason why, and people just assumed that Guardians of the Galaxy was going to be the same thing, when in fact it is solely single player, which no microtransactions, that's a great thing. But after Arkham Knight, I'm gonna do something away from the superhero genre, and we'll see what that is. But man, I got a mouthful in tonight, so yeah, no thanks, I'm good. Who buys S-Class? But anyway, maybe collectors out there do, I guess, but no thanks. But yeah, that is going to do it for this one. I want to thank each and every one of you for stopping by and for your continued support. Or if you're new, welcome in for the first time. All of you are very awesome, and I thank you again. And don't forget to hit the bell and switch on Don't forget to hit the bell and switch on all notifications so you know the second I upload to YouTube. I am Buckbeak, and I'm gonna go fly away back to my nest. Until next time, bye guys.